Um, there were still some moments where I would go out in public, and I was dressed more modestly, and I would see other women dressing immodestly and getting attention that I had previously been so desirous of, and I kind of felt a little bit of FOMO, like I was missing out. And I remember I told the Lord that. I said, it feels like you're being a party pooper, God. I'm like, I'm gonna obey because I want to obey you and I want to honor you, but in honesty, it feels a little bit like you're being a party pooper. And he said, no, Joyce, no, I'm not being a party pooper. And the I don't remember if he said it or if he just kind of helped me to visually understand. I think he said it, but he said, modesty is the Holy Spirit's cloak of protection from you, the cloak of protection for you. It quite literally hides you from the eyes of those who would seek to harm you, and it also is protection for the men around you who belong to me. And I thought that was really interesting to consider. It wasn't that the Lord was being a party pooper. It is his protection for me as one of his daughters, and protection for his sons around me. I hadn't considered it like that. Sometime later, again, I'm kind of putting all of this in a single story, but you have to remember this is over the course of years. And so I'm kind of giving you the highlights, but this was over years. And I remember at one point, again, I don't know if the Lord told me this. I think he did, because I wouldn't have thought of this myself. But I remember I believe he gave me a visual. He said, the woman, and okay, let me not say he said, what was being communicated or explained was that a woman who puts on immodesty is deceived. And I was like, I don't understand that. He's like, imagine this. Imagine there's a Shark Tank and you put sharks in there. Let's say there's 4 or 5 sharks. And they're hungry and they're agitated and they're swimming around and they're irritated. You ever seen like the Animal Planet where they have the sharks, and sharks can kind of get irritated and agitated if there isn't enough space. So imagine that there's 4 or 5 sharks in there. Imagine if you put a fish in there. The deceived fish would say, ooh, the sharks are staring at me. They must like me. Ooh, they're salivating. They're watering at the mouth. They must really like me. And in a sense, the fish is right. Yeah, they do like you, but not for the reason that you think. Yes, they are drooling over you, but not for the reasons that you think. And a woman who puts on immodesty is unable to correctly interpret the behavior of the men around her. She sees lustful attention as something positive, in the same way that the deceived fish can look at attention from sharks as something positive. That's not a positive thing. And I feel like the Lord helped me to understand that. And it was like, once I understood that, I was like, not only is immodesty unbecoming for me as a daughter of the King, it's just downright dangerous. And I don't even necessarily mean in terms of sexual assault. It doesn't have to, it can be that, but it doesn't even have to be that to that degree. It could just be a man looking at you with the intention of sexually exploiting you. That's a kind of harm. That's a kind of danger that can expose you to all kinds of emotional trauma and emotional scarring that can take you years to recover from. That's what a woman who is deceived will look at. The attention she gets from the men around her, the lustful, lascivious, carnal attention from the men around her, as something positive, when in actuality it is incredibly negative. A man who is looking at a woman with lust in his heart and making it very clear that he's lusting after her, that man is actively dishonoring that woman. He's actively communicating his desire to desecrate her body. It's not a compliment. And I didn't understand that until the Lord started explaining that kind of stuff to me. I just didn't get it.